One of Formula One's most awkward and fascinating contract dramas is unfolding right before our eyes, and it centers around one of the sport's brightest young talents fighting to secure his future. George Russell, the standout Mercedes driver who's been one of the top performers this season, still doesn't have a contract for 2026. That's right, despite his incredible form, his future remains uncertain. What makes the situation even stranger is that Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff has publicly assured fans that both Russell and his teammate Kimi Antonelli will be with the team next year. So the big question is, why hasn't Russell signed yet? The answer lies in a tangled web of salary disputes, contract length disagreements, and of course the ever-present shadow of Max Verstappen. Russell is now caught in what many experts describe as a tug-of-war with Mercedes. Both sides want completely different things. The British driver isn't just negotiating for a contract, he's fighting for long-term survival with one of Formula One's most successful teams. Russell's current deal expires at the end of this season. Despite sitting fourth in the championship with 212 points and being one of only two drivers outside McLaren to win a race this year, he's still waiting for Mercedes to commit. His brilliant victory earlier this season reminded everyone exactly why Mercedes signed him in the first place, and with a commanding 134-point lead over his rookie teammate Antonelli, Russell has clearly proven he's still the team's #1 driver. Yet Mercedes doesn't seem to be treating him like their top priority. Instead, the team is offering what insiders describe as a 1+1 deal, essentially a one-year contract with an option for another. That's a far cry from what Russell initially wanted. When negotiations began, he pushed for a secure 3-year contract, something that would show Mercedes' faith in him and signal that they were building the team's future around his talent. But now, it seems he might have to settle for a short-term deal he never wanted. So why is Mercedes hesitating to commit long-term? The reason is no secret in the paddock. Max Verstappen, the 4-time world champion, reportedly has a clause in his Red Bull contract that allows him to leave in 2027, and Mercedes has had its eyes on him for years. In fact, sources suggest there's a quiet understanding that they'll make a serious move for Verstappen the moment that window opens. This puts Russell in a difficult position. He's being asked to sign a deal knowing full well his seat could go to someone else within 2 years. And as if that weren't complicated enough, money has become another major sticking point. Russell believes he deserves to be paid like a top driver, asking for a salary on par with McLaren's Lando Norris, around £20 million per year. That would be a big raise from his current pay, but from Russell's perspective, it's perfectly justified. He's performing at the same level as the sport's elite, has beaten Lewis Hamilton across their time as teammates, and consistently delivered strong results even when the Mercedes car wasn't competitive. Mercedes, however, doesn't see it the same way. Team insiders suggest that Toto Wolff is open to raising Russell's salary, but isn't willing to go beyond half of what the driver is asking for, roughly £10 million a year. That's still a solid paycheck, but for a driver of Russell's caliber, it feels like a slap in the face. And for someone who's waited years to prove himself and is finally delivering, it's easy to see why he's frustrated. Adding another twist to this already complex negotiation is what's being called the Kimi Antonelli clause. Russell wants a special performance-based condition in his contract, one that would automatically trigger an extension if he beats Antonelli by a certain margin next year. This clause is his safety net against the looming Verstappen threat. Russell believes that if he proves he's significantly stronger than Antonelli, Mercedes should be obliged to keep him, no matter what happens with Verstappen. From his perspective, it's a fair and logical request. After all, Antonelli is being groomed as Mercedes' future star, the young Italian prodigy expected to lead the team one day. But right now, Russell is clearly the superior performer. He has 212 points compared to Antonelli's 78, has already claimed a race victory while Antonelli's best result is third, and consistently looks more confident behind the wheel. Russell simply wants that performance gap recognized and rewarded with job security. Unsurprisingly, Mercedes isn't keen on agreeing to those terms. Wolff and his leadership team want maximum flexibility heading into 2027. They don't want to be tied down by special clauses when Verstappen could become available. Essentially, they're asking Russell to trust them without offering him any guarantees in return. It's a tough pill to swallow for a driver who's already endured years of waiting for his chance. Remember, Russell spent 3 long seasons at Williams before finally earning his shot at Mercedes. And now, just as the team seems to be turning things around, he finds his future in limbo again. The timing couldn't be worse. The F1 driver market this year has been unusually static, with most top teams already locking in their lineups for 2026. Unlike in past seasons, when a driver of Russell's talent might have multiple competitive options, the doors are nearly closed. This significantly weakens his negotiating power. Mercedes knows he doesn't have many alternatives. His situation is drawing comparisons to what Carlos Sainz faced last year when Ferrari chose not to renew his contract. Despite his talent and strong performances, Sainz struggled to find a seat with a top-tier team and eventually had to settle for Williams. Russell will be desperate to avoid that fate. But the harsh truth is, in Formula One, being fast isn't always enough. politics often plays a bigger role than performance. Adding even more complexity to the saga is Russell's management situation. His career is handled by the same agency that represents Toto Wolff, an obvious conflict of interest. Reports suggest Russell is considering changing his management to strengthen his bargaining position, a move that speaks volumes about his growing frustration. Meanwhile, the delay in announcing his contract has started to become embarrassing for both sides. Wolff keeps facing the same questions from reporters and gives vague assurances that things will be sorted soon. Russell, on the other hand, has to face endless speculation about his future when he should be focusing on finishing the season strong. The uncertainty is doing him no favors, either on the track or in the team's internal dynamics. What makes all of this even more painful for Russell is the timing of Mercedes' potential resurgence. After years of struggling with car performance, Mercedes finally seems to be on the verge of returning to the front of the grid, especially with the upcoming 2026 regulations expected to play in their favor. And yet, just as Russell's patience is about to pay off, he's being told his future is uncertain. The irony is impossible to ignore. Russell waited patiently through the dark Williams years, then endured several frustrating seasons with an uncompetitive Mercedes. Now that the team is finally poised to contend again, he might be replaced by Verstappen. It would be a cruel twist of fate for a driver who's given everything to the team. Looking ahead, something has to give. The 2026 season is approaching fast, and both Russell and Mercedes need clarity on their future. Russell has made it clear that he wants to stay, but not at any cost. He believes he's earned the right to be treated as one of the sport's top-tier drivers, with the salary and stability that come with that status. Mercedes, meanwhile, faces a defining choice: loyalty to the driver who has stood by them through their struggles, or the temptation of signing the sport's biggest superstar in Max Verstappen. Whatever decision they make will shape not only George Russell's career but the future direction of the Mercedes Formula One team itself. For now, the tug of war continues, and neither side is showing any sign of backing down.